Hey everyone, welcome to the Hippie Goth How-To. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make digital mockups using Adobe Illustrator and Adobe InDesign. Now I know a lot of planner sticker shops use Adobe Photoshop to do their digital mockups, but a good friend of mine from Stationery Wonderland showed me how to use InDesign, and it actually sped up the process for me quite a bit. So I use that instead now, which is awesome. So to jump right into this, I already have Adobe Illustrator open. I'm using version 25.4, I think it is, or 1 or 4 or something like that. It's the last edition for version 25 of Adobe Illustrator. I don't use the latest version, which is the 2022 version, for the simple reason it does not work very well with Silhouette Connect at this point. So, and that's okay. So I don't have all the new bells and whistles, but still the same stuff. It's going to be generic across the board. So as you can see here, I already have a blank page open, and I have up here in the tabs my my sticker sheets that I've created. And here's the first 2 pages of my sticker sheets. Let me just kind of show you. This is page 3, page 4. These are all washi strips, and then page 5, which is date covers and half-quarter boxes. This is my entire deluxe kit that I offer, and I want to do digital mockups of this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do it on this page here, just to show you how I do things. What I do is I highlight one of the pages and all the stuff that's in it. I hit Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste, and that's using a Windows PC. I don't remember the commands to do it with Mac, but if you use a Mac, you probably already know how to do Control paste and all that, copy paste. So as you can see here, I'm just rotating the file so it's in upright position so I can work with it a little bit easier. It is just something that I do. You don't have to do it that way. And I'm ungrouping my cut lines here that I showed you in a previous video how to make, and I'm deleting that second page of cut lines because I don't need those to make my mock-up. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on your sticker sheet boundary cut line, and you're going to turn off the border, and you're going to put in a white fill. And as you can see, it took away all my images. That's because this is at the front in layers, because if you look at the layers over here, this is at the top, meaning it's in front of everything else that's below it. So what I'm going to do is just right click here, arrange, and send to back, and that will send it to the back, and then I have everything back up to the front. I don't want to have my blue cut lines for the stickers to be visible, so I'm actually going to change that to white, and that gives more of an illusion of the sticker sheet actually being cut when you're looking at the mock-ups, and it also identifies how the stickers will be cut, so when your customers are looking at it, they can say, oh, this is how it goes, kind of thing. And once that's done, I just go up to File, Export, Export As. And I already have it saved here, but as you can see, page 1, and then you export as page 1, and I'm just going to replace it. And it's going to pop up with the screen of your resolution, anti-aliasing, and your background color. Your background color should always be transparent because this is what you use to place for not only digital mockups, but when you're doing ads for like Instagram, that kind of thing, you want to have a transparent background, so that way you're just getting the sticker sheet and not this big white square around the sticker sheet. So that's always going to be transparent. Your resolution, I always have it at high because that way you get a great detail of the stickers itself. And then you just click OK, and that's saved. I already have everything else saved, so let's go ahead and jump over to InDesign, so you guys can see how to do this. So in InDesign, you can make different templates. As you can see here on my screen, I have a whole bunch of different templates already created. I have my monthly template for Hobonichi weeks. I also have just the regular weeks, like the weekly kit. I have my Hobonichi cousin. I have just my regular weekly kit, which will fit just about any standard planner. Then I have die cuts, all different kinds of things that you can do. What I'm going to do today is just show you how to create your template, and that way you guys will have a template you can use no matter what kind of thing. And it'll also give you a basic understanding how to set up your templates. But you won't have to recreate this every single time that you want to make a digital mockup. So at the top here we have Letter, iPad Pro, Web. You don't want those. Just click on More Presets. I already have 800 by 800 pixels selected, which is like kind of the bare minimum of what you want. With Etsy, you need a minimum of 1200 by 1200, if I remember correctly, for the images to show right. But it's okay for what I do. I still upload the 800 by 800, and I get a warning that it may not show up right, but it actually shows up just fine with Etsy for my images when I do this, so nothing to worry about. I prefer the 800 by 800 when I'm doing my website photos, for the simple fact that the smaller the photo is, the faster it loads. And you want your photos to be able to load fast on your standalone website, because if it drags your website down and makes it really slow, it makes it makes your website shopping unenjoyable and kind of hard to do. People get frustrated with slow websites. We're at the pace now where it's just like snap, snap, snap. They want it right away. So anyway, I have 800 by 800. There's a whole bunch of other things here that you can do. You just want to make sure that you have facing pages turned off, and everything else you can just leave it just the way it is. It doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. So just go ahead and click on Create, and you'll have your square 800 by 800 or whatever size you decided to pick. Now in this, I'm not going to go over every single thing in InDesign, just for the simple fact that you don't need it. And I don't know how everything works. In fact, I never used InDesign until I was shown how to do this for digital mockups. Other than that, I've never used it before. I don't know what everything does in it. I've never had a really chance to play with it that much. So I'll just show you how to do the digital mockups, and everything else you'll have to find somebody else to teach you how to do, I guess. Anyway, so on the left hand side here, you'll come over and see this rectangle frame tool. You can hit F or just click on it. This is for images only and not text. You want to make sure that this is selected so you can do images. And what I do is I just go from corner to corner and create it, and you'll have this big X in the middle, which is perfect. So then you go up here and click on your selection tool arrow, and this is where shortcuts come into play. I was taught the shortcuts. I don't know how to do it otherwise outside of the shortcuts, but for the shortcuts you want to add an image here. So we're going to do Control D, and that will bring up all my mockups. As you can see here, I've already done some mockups. That's okay, we're going to do them again. So click on page 1 or whatever sticker sheet that you want and click Open, and it will automatically plop it down in the center for you. Now one thing you're going to notice is that your images are going to look like absolute shit in InDesign. They're going to look horrible, and that's okay, because once you export the images, they're going to be perfectly fine once they're exported. So don't stress about your images looking like absolute shit in InDesign. It doesn't matter. It's just the way InDesign works, and it's not a big deal. It's to save processing power, and to keep Adobe InDesign from not hanging up and freezing, especially if you're using a lot of graphics, because this software is specifically used for creating publishing, so like newspapers, books, magazines, the whole 9 yards. That's what this is used for. Okay, so we have that image in the middle, but as you can see, it's really flat. It's not standing out from the background at all. So I want to change that, and I'm going to go up here to Properties. And you'll see a whole bunch of information here. You really don't need to know anything except for the FX, which is right here under Opacity. You want to click on FX and go to Drop Shadow. And you're going to see the blending and all of this. Now, I actually went through and wrote down the settings that I use, so that way it's consistent across any template that I ever make. So for me, I personally change the opacity to 40%. I change the distance to 5. The angle is a little bit weird on what I do, but it's 129.289. I'm trying to read my handwriting. I think that's a 9. I can't read my handwriting. And the size, under Options, I'm going 10px. And then I click OK. And now you can see that there's a very subtle drop shadow behind the sticker sheet, so it makes it pronounced against the background. Now you can change the background on this, and I'll show you how to do it. So if you don't want just a white background, what you can do is just click outside so nothing's selected. You're going to make another rectangle. And we're going to do Control D. Do I have a background I can use somewhere? We'll just grab a photo here. And as you can see, it's in front, so I'm going to arrange, send it back. But now we can't see it, right? So let's bring it back to the front. I'm going to double click on the image, hold down my Shift key because that will make it expand on all sides and not just one. And I'm going to make it cover this entire square. Okay, and then arrange. Wait, where's the arrange? There it is. And send it back. Now you have a background image. And you can do that if you want, or you can just do a straight white background. And I prefer a white background because it just looks better, so I'm just going to delete that. But that's how you add a background to your stickers, which is really cool. So now we have our first sticker page already done. And I want to do the rest of my stickers. So I'm going to go to the Pages tab. So there's Properties, and I go to Pages. And I just right click and I click Duplicate Spread. And then I'm just going to hit Control D. And now I need to go back to my mockups. And we'll go to page 2. And again, duplicate. You want to make sure that you click on the picture itself. That way it does get replaced. So page 3. Then we have page 4, and this one's going to be a little bit different, and you'll see here in a second. So you can see it does it vertical the way it was saved, and that's not how I want it to present. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on the image, and you can see that red box around it. That's how you know you're moving the actual image. And then I'm going to make sure it's centered, and it is. Then I'm going to right click it, do transform, and I'm going to rotate 90 degrees, but now it's off to the side, so recenter it, and there you go. And now it's fixed. So that's perfect. But I don't want to do this on page 5 because page 5 is going to look like the rest of them and not that one. So I'm going to double click on number 3 here, and I'm going to duplicate that spread again. And then Control D, page 5. And then you have all your pages done. which is perfect. Now, if you want to do multiple sticker sheets on one image, like to display an actual kit of stickers put together, you can do things a little bit differently. So let's go ahead and duplicate this. Now, I feel like the sticker sheet is a little too large. Okay, so one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this bounding box down because it's just too big for me. Okay, then I'm going to double click on the image and I'm going to hold down my shift key so that way it shrinks it down proportionately. And I'm going to make the sticker sheet that size. So, and then I'm going to click on this blue box again and shrink that down. So that way I have the size that I want. And then I'm just going to click on again, and you see that round arrow that allows me to rotate. So I'm going to drop a rotate there. Then I'm going to click it again, Control C, Control V, so I copy it. Then I'm going to rotate it again, Control D, and I'm just going to pick another sticker sheet. And then copy paste again. You know, and you just kind of do it however you want to make it look how you want it to. Now, I don't like the first page being behind everything, just for the simple reason it's the one thing that attracts customers is seeing your full boxes. So I'm going to bring this to the front, so that way it's in front of everything. And you can do this for all your sticker sheets until you have a full kit. And then I like to take the text tool here and kind of draw a box, and then I'll put this will be like a standard kit, but that looks like crap, so we're going to highlight that. Where is, I know I changed this before. Oh, the type box. So go up here to font, and then you can select your font. You can select your size. We're going to do 72. And there you go. And that will show up on, that box is too big. So let's shrink it down. Oops. Don't want to shrink it down that much. Okay. Center it, and there you go. So now it's labeled. But how do you get this to actual images you can use? That's actually pretty easy. So what you want to do is hit Control E, which will export. And as you can see here, I already have it exported, and you want to export it as JPEGs. And we'll do God Save the Queen, Part 2, or Part 2. I can't type today. Click on Save. And then it will give you the range if you want to export all of them, or if you just want to do one or two of them, that kind of thing. And then your quality. This is all personal taste of how you want to do this. I always have the quality at high. I set the resolution at 300 ppi just for the simple fact that I like people being able to see all the detail. If you set it to 72, that's fine for you. It doesn't matter how you do it. It's all personal preference. And then when you're done, you just click on export and it exports it. So when you bring it up, you can see here you have a perfect digital mock-up of your sticker sheets. And that's how it looks. So that's how you make your digital mock-ups using Adobe Illustrator and InDesign. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below, or you can DM me on Instagram at hippiegothstickers. More than happy to answer any of your questions. If you have a question about something with Adobe Illustrator and you're not sure how to do it with making stickers or whatnot, please feel free to ask me in the comments below. I'm always looking for new tutorials to do for people, and more than happy to help anybody with any questions that they have with creating sticker sheets and Adobe Illustrator. Anyway, Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you have a fantastic night.